Able to see my screen? Okay. So yesterday I gave one task, right? In macros. Everyone sent a mails. Okay. So what is the task here? So this is a scenario. There are 4 data sets I have. For these 4 data sets, these 3 steps I need to execute. For this one I need a macro. Okay, so remember always macro variables you have to define. Okay, here before if you defined also was correct only, that's no problem. That's also fine, but make sure before calling the macro, you have to give the macro variables. Okay. See here, Deva, you give it the values as a 5 and you're creating the macro variable. Then what is the use? You have to replace, right? What are the parameters you are identified? You have to replace with number set macro variable name dot. Okay. Let me create a macro. Give the macro variables and the values. So I need a majorly 4 steps to be, not 4 steps, only 3 steps I asked, right? Okay, here you create a data set. Okay, choose data set, full data set. Choose one. Okay. We create a test variable. Okay. Okay. Looks good, Viva. Again, why another macro? For every scenario, you won't write, no need to identify. For every scenario, if you write a macro, then what is the use? You could write a base code only, right? So for choose data set, you just change the library, this macro variables, and you can call the macro. Then again, for example, for by data set, you no need to do it again. Oh, right? Not required. Why again one more macro? Same macro you can call. Same Deepa macro one you can call it here as well. Okay. Instead of use these macro variables. In this the Deepa macro, what are the macro variables they have created? Same macro variables, you pass the different values. Then it will execute. See? Macro variables are updated. We are calling the macro. So all the 4 steps they are executed. So for every scenario, you don't need to create the macro. It's not required. Then there is no point of doing macros itself. Clear, everyone? Okay, Deepa? Next. Next, whose call is? Kishan?
Yes, that's mine.
Yeah. Okay. That looks good. Printing the 5 observations and writing the prop content and creating the where class data set come to the picture. Why you are not replaced the data set name here? That's it, macro variable name. That's it, macro variable name. Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. We forget to replace. Now you can call the macro. So 3 steps are executed. One is print with 5 observations. Second is prop content. Third is choose data set with this. Okay. So that's we give different macro variable Updated macro variables and call the macro. Yeah. Fine. Next, Ashok.
Yeah, myself I done, but I tried it. I think it is not success.
What is a no print statement? Don't find any no print statement, okay? It's no print option. See, shoes data sets. As said, you are creating the macro variable. Then why you want replaced with macro variable? SAS is the value. Library is the library is the macro variable name, right? So ampersand macro variable name dot. So here also why ampersand SAS ampersand macro variable name dot. Wherever SAS is there, replace with macro variable. That's it.
Okay.
Here, wherever shoes you want to replace. Here, how you replaced? Same way, everywhere. Shoes the way here, ampersand macro variable name dot. Here also. Ampersand macro variable name dot. Okay.
Yeah.
Ampersand macro variable name dot. We have to identify the parameters. Those parameters we have to replace with macro variable. Simple. Run. See the log. The first steps you created some temporary data set, shoes data set, and you give the values as yes.
Yeah.
This step is not required. Only 3 steps I asked. Printing with 5 observations and then prop content. Shoes content. You are getting right. Now in the next phase, for every other scenario, yes, change the macro variable names, call the macro. And the macro variable names, call the macro. Clear now?
Yeah. Yes.
So this is how you auto it. Next. First stars. Mahabu. Okay. This is not required for me. Okay. I require only macro. Okay. Shoes data set. Printed 5 observations and content. That's fine.
Sir, This could you explain about work.test?
In the work library, if there's a test data set there, you can do it.
Actually,
You
we
create one dummy
told
like-
that work library. Sir?
You derive some dummy data set and then we're done.
Okay.
Now test data set is there, right? You can track, you can run on this one. That is, and just give for dummy purpose. Okay. That's okay. Yeah, you have to know that's it. So for each scenario, how to do the macro variables and macro values. Okay. Okay. So this part is next. Again, this code not required for me. You need macro means only macro. Then why again base as code? Okay,
Okay.
Balaji.
Yes.
Why you are using percentile? Did you run the code? Why you use a percentile? Did you run the code? Did you get output? Always macro variable start with ampersand, right? Here you use ampersand, but here you use a percentile, right? Why Balaji? Again, see, you did the same mistake. For each scenario, if you write one macro, then what is the use of macros? I don't understand why you wrote it. Not required, right? If each scenario, if you write one macro, there is no purpose of doing this one. With one macro only, you can run the code, right?
Okay.
Every time call this macro only. Pass the macro variables, call same macro. Macro name should be anything. Just call as per requirement, call the macro. Is it a shoe data set is there? No, it's a shoes. Not content, contents or contents. So there should be a dot missing. So here see, two dots supposed to come. Numbers and macro variable name dot. After library name, there is one more dot will come. So two dots will come. For example, SAS L dot class, right? So here already one dot will be there, right? When you replace your library with macro variable name, I will write ampersand macro variable name dot. So this dot is for macro variable and this dot is for separation.
Okay, sir.
You will get a two dots always.
Okay.
Okay.
Here.
Okay.
Right. Shoes data set is created for the proc content. Okay. What happened temporary data set?
I don't write template data.
You are overwriting, you are everything, you are giving the same data set name. From SAS and shoes, you created the shoes data set. Again, from shoes data set, again you are creating the shoes data set. Again. Give a different name so you can understand. Correct? See? Temporary data set, shoes data set you created. Again, from the content, you created shoes underscore content and you are printing. See? Shoes data set created. Okay. Clear, Balaji? So these changes you have to do it. According to the requirement, you just call them up.
Okay.
Right?
Okay, sir.
Okay, this base code is not required for me. Okay, defining the macro. So print content. Creating the data set. Okay. So that looks fine. And this is a whole task. Okay. Oh. I haven't copied anyone's. Maybe even the notes have. So everyone clear with yesterday's task? Any doubts still?
Sudarshan, I sent you yesterday's task in email.
This one?
No. It's for Vandit.
No, I haven't received. This is the only thing I received. This is SQL task on this.
No, not that one. Okay. No worries, I'll send it again.
Yeah, it's Manasa. Really currencies.
I just tried replacing the value Sudarshan, so that's why I didn't send all the 4 variables, right?
In the work library, test data set you are testing.
Yeah.
Fine. The approach was correct. I got it.
Okay. I just replaced the values. That's it.
Yep.
Okay.
Okay, let's move to the next topic. Is way of creating the macro variables. Creating the macro variables. So macro variables we can create in a total 5 ways. Ways of creating the macro variables. The first method is percentile let method. So actually we saw, right? Using percentile let method, we can create the macro variables. Percentile let macro variable name equal to, and we can give the value. Okay. Next, macro parameter method. The macro parameter method, we have 2 methods. Positional parameter method and named parameter method. Third is percentile do iterative method. Fourth is false input method. Okay. Fourth is and write it as a chop SQL into class method. Fifth is okay. So these are the 5 methods we have for creating any macro variables. So we already know using percentile let method, we can create a macro variables. For example, percentile let name is equal to Reddy Amir. So there should be a macro variable name will be created. It has a value of Reddy. That name macro variable is created. Before I'm using in any other places, I want to check what is the value was there for the macro variable name. How can I check manually? So you can use percentile put statement. Okay, percentile put ampersand, give the macro variable name. So what is the macro variable going to resolve? It will resolve in the log window. See, now see, name macro variable has a value of ready. It will display in the log window. Put statement, remember, in a data step methods, in a proc steps also, in the base as also we discussed put statement. Same put statement here also. If you use percentile, it's in a macro. Okay,
Statement is to convert the character into numerical, na, sir.
that's a put function.
Function.
Hmm.
Okay, okay.
Function is different, statement is different, right?
Okay, okay.
Put statement, remember in numeric function topic I've shown you. Put statement generally whatever on a put statement you will write, it will come and display in the log window. Okay, so like this here, the put statement is helping me to what is the macro variable is resolving. I can come and check in the log window immediately. Means if the correctly value was assigned or not to check. Okay, like this put statement will be used. Next. Macro parameter method, positional parameter methods, and named parameter methods. This is the most common method we use in real time. Okay, if you go to company, if you see existing codes, 95% of your codes are this method on macro parameter method, either positional or named. Okay, let's see in this method how to create the macro variables. Okay, and taking the same extra day scenario only. See, for this scenario, actually we define the macro. We define the macro and then for one requirement, we call the macro as. So actually remember, right? Everyone, this scenario for this 5 data set, these 4 steps needs to be executed. We already wrote a macro. Here you created the macro variables using %let method. Now instead of %let method, how to create a macro variables in a positional parameter method. Let's see here. Okay, so instead of %let method, in a %let method, we are giving the macro variables here, right? Now, in a positional parameter method, we have to give the macro variables while defining the macro only. How? %macro test, for example, macro name, open a bracket, give the macro variables here. Library, dataset name, observation limit. Okay. What about values? The values you have to pass while calling the macro. Okay. That too, you have to pass the values in the same order. For example, first library you give, correct? So now the values also you have to pass first library values. Next, what do you give? Dataset name. So dataset name. Okay. Next, observation limit. Observation limit to 10 to 5. That's it. Now this % method not required. Done. Your code. So in the positional parameter method, macro variables we have to define at the time of defining of macro itself. And you have to pass the most macro variable values while calling the macro. Okay, see. Run the program. This is a test macro created. Now you call the macro. Simple. When you call the macro, immediately it will go to test macro here, where the macro variables are there. So those values will resolve here and it will execute the particular step, each step. See, from SASL class dataset, temporary class dataset were created, class underscore contents were created. Okay, class underscore contents, class 1 dataset were created, then print the file details. Okay, clear? Now, if you want to do it for another scenario, what we'll do? For example, SAS self we did it. Now, if we want to do it for air data set, now what changes you have to do it in the code? Tell me. Anyone? Now, if you want to do it for air data set, what I have to do? Do I need to change anything in the code? Macro? What to do?
While calling the macro, we have to change that.
Simple. While calling the macro, you have to pass the values according to the requirement. Correct? So here library is SASL. Your data set name is air. Observation limit is 3 and print count is 5. So why we are calling as a positional parameter method? So in macro variables are there in which position? The same position you have to pass the values also. You're not supposed to change the position. That is the important thing here. Okay. Executed all the 4 steps. From SAS self air dataset is created, air contents is created, again air 1 dataset is created. Then lastly it was printed. Okay, here you want to print 10 observations, you have to print it 10 observations. Clear? That's it, simple. So this is positional parameter method. Comparatively, percentage it is little even more easy. Just there will only one line program. If you execute, that's it done. Same program, percentage method and macro parameter method. Here, macro variables we are giving at the time of defining itself. Values you are passing while calling. Okay. The next method is named parameter method. So there's a slight difference between positional parameter method and named parameter method. So in a positional parameter method, you are giving in which order you are giving the macro variables. In same order, you have to pass the values. But this issue we can overcome using named parameter method. Okay. Let's see how to define the macro in a named parameter method and how to call. Okay. So at the time of defining the macro in a named parameter method, see, but code won't disturb. Okay. While defining macro variable, just give us equal symbols. Library equal to, dataset name equal to, observation limit equal to, print equal to. Okay. Now while calling the macro, now you can call the values in whichever order you want. You can call in the same order, library equal to, dataset name equal to, same order you can call it, or in different order also. For example, first time I'm calling the dataset name. So you have to give the values like this, okay? Dataset name equal to class. You want to give the print count now? You can give the print count also. Print to 5. What is the library name you want? SASL. What is the observation limit? So like this, in the named parameter method, in whichever order you want, you can give in that order and you can call the macro variable values. You run the program. It's working. Okay. From SASL class dataset is created. Class underscore content you have created. Again, class 1 dataset. And finally, you printed the 5 observations. All the 4 steps are executed. Simple. That's it. So only the difference between positional parameter and named parameter method is in the positional parameter method, in which order it was defined, in the same order you have to call the, while calling the macro, you have to give the values. But in a named parameter, it is not required. Whichever order you give here, Here also while calling the macro also in whichever order you want, you can give it. Okay. The main thing is you have to give the equal symbol. So it will even use an equal symbol directly. It will go and assign to the macro variable. So it won't even whichever order if you mention, it won't cause any issue. Okay. Clear? If you want to do it for one more scenario, so for example, in a named parameter method, how to do it? For a by data set, I want to do it. It is assume. Okay. Now, how to call the macro in a named parameter method? Can anyone tell me? For this scenario, I need to execute. So, how to call? Yes. Anyone?
So percentage test,
Percentage test.
Percentage test.
DS name. By
Is
equal to by.
equal to by.
Print is equal to 8.
It is equal to 8. Not only in this order, you can give any order, whichever order you want. Not only in this order only required, you can give any order. Okay. For example, you can give observation limit also now.
OBS limit
Hmm.
5.
Next library equal to
Library is equal to SAS.
fetch. Right. Now the four steps are executed. That's it. So this is the difference between positional parameter method and aimed parameter method. Okay. Clear? Any doubts? No. So the next method is percentile do iterative method. If you start now, it won't overrun. No problem. We'll discuss on Monday. Okay, this iterative method and two more methods are there. And we have two more topics also. We'll discuss on Monday.
Sir,
Okay.
Sir, myself, Mehboob.
Yes, Mahu.
Sir, like in SAS basis as we have using format and informat and all those things statements for changing of date and all those things, na, sir.
Correct.
Like that in this scenario also we can use it, sir, with macros.
We can use it. Inside the macros also you can use it. No problem. All the things will work. Okay. Same. All the functions, all the procedures, all the if else conditions, everything will work within the macro.
That means instead of that library name and data name, we are using that variables only.
instead of
Instead of data, library name is there, na, sir. Library name, data set name.
Hmm.
We are replacing with macro variables.
macro variables we are replacing. Simple.
But the basic program is whatever that we are learned, that program is the base program.
That is the base program. That's it. Simple. Hmm.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Programming we are converting into macro
Okay,
to
sir.
make it easy. Instead of writing multiple times, we are just replacing with macro variables. So we are avoiding that one. Okay.
Okay, sir. Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Fine then. We'll continue on Monday. We'll discuss macros topic. Okay. Fine then.
Right, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.